got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna talk fun, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop, D-R-O-P.
My favorite part of that song is the end there. Believe in the Run.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love it. It gives me the energy. Anyway, this is Thomas from Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
Oh, this is Carl with Believe in the Run.
Yeah.
I'm in the intro now. I'm in the intro now.
You're hiding in the shadows. You gotta be.
Man.
You sat in the captain's chair last week, so you're an official part of the intro now.
Wow.
Robbie, how did it feel to know that your seat was being warmed?
I mean, as long as it was by Carl's ass, I'm good. Yeah.
So Jarrett, you can't.
No, I had to throw the chair out of his wide foot Jarrett. Just kidding,
Poor
Jarrett.
Jarrett.
You have a nice one.
I don't know why, but Jarrett loves that Love on a Spectrum show. And he sends me Love on the Spectrum stuff all the time. He's trying to get me to.
I like how you're acting like you don't absolutely love it too.
Yeah.
Okay, I do.
Well, I think he can relate to them or something because
So can Thomas.
yeah. Being a wide foot reviewer is kind of like you are on the spectrum,
I
Like-
guess.
far to the.
I don't know.
one
I
side.
think what I do enjoy about the show is the happiness. Like these people are not talking about any of the politics, any of the other stuff going on in the world. They're just like, hey, I'm just glad to be here. This is great.
Yeah, it's like little things are really exciting. And
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, the happiness aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw the White Lotus. Is it the White Lotus or White Lotus?
Just White
Doesn't
Lotus.
matter. People, we know what we're
Okay, I haven't watched it.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
No,
Okay.
but I saw a thing where there's like a guy with a receding hairline and long hair in it.
Do you talking
Goggins.
about, Walter Goggins?
Yeah.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Walton.
And I saw some headline. It's like the receding hairline look is coming back, and I was like, dude, just in time for me.
You're like,
This is
I'm hitting peak
Yeah,
stride.
this is like everything in life is just coming together. I'm
Wait,
like, I'm
what?
operating on the proper timeline.
There was a guy who did a whole like little reel on it. And I love this guy. He talks in like abbreves, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta hand it out to my boy Walton Goggins, bringing the hair back or lettuce." He goes, "What a head of lettuce he's got."
Yeah.
He goes, "He's making me feel good about my hair because I know when I get older I'm gonna be." And he's doing the whole thing, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Much appreciate."
Receding hairlines were never like a thing.
I don't know, maybe not.
I think
Maybe
what
they
it
are.
is if you had one, everybody shaves their head now.
Mhm.
So I think what they're saying is, hey, it's
you're
okay.
saying grow it out.
It's
Yeah.
okay to have hair where you
I
have
see.
hair and
Yeah.
not have hair where you don't have hair. And he's kind of made it kind of like, I wouldn't
Cool.
call it sexy, but it's
Acceptable.
not just acceptable. He's a cool dude, but
Yeah.
he's also Walton Goggins.
Yeah. That's a balance I'm struggling with. But
It's like
we'll
when
see.
George Clooney's like, hey, just let yourself get old. And he looks freaking phenomenal
Right.
old. You're like,
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. You know who
Ichabod
I feel
Crane
like,
over here.
you know who I feel pulls it off really well is Jean-Luc Diard from Hoka. I think he has like it's like kind of, but he has
He's
longer
got the
hair.
Walton Goggins.
He's
That
got-
is the Walton
It
Goggins.
is, yeah, pretty much is. It's like,
Plus, he's a genius, so
Yeah.
it kind of has
And
that
he's
Albert
French.
Einstein thing going.
he's French. It's
Yeah.
like Europeans can do that
Yeah.
well.
Dude, we got on a call with somebody from a nutrition company, and he gets on. He's got this wild hair going on. I'm like, I love it. It looks like he just woke up
Mhm.
and did nothing. And I'm like, I could pull that off,
Yeah.
but I don't think Megan would.
Speaking of sort of, well, you said George Clooney, but on my flight last week, I watched The Departed because it's been a while
Love that movie.
and it's one of the best movies ever.
I watched it as well.
Did you?
On our second leg
No
of
way.
the flight. Yeah,
Dude,
coming back.
that is one of the most satisfying endings, except for
Yeah.
except
You
if
can
they
say
just,
there's no spoilers.
if they
Yeah.
just cut right before the rat part.
Yeah.
Like we didn't need that.
Mm-hmm.
You,
The CGI rat.
Oh,
Yeah.
the rat on the railing.
Yeah.
That was such a lame.
dude,
Yeah.
there's whole websites dedicated to trying to get them to recut the movie where they cut the rat out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really a terrible way to wrap that up.
It,
I hate it.
it's a
every time.
perfect movie.
I
and
didn't
then
realize that was like a popular controversy.
Yeah, it's like too on the nose. Like we didn't need that.
It's like, hey, just in case you weren't following along
For the last
he's
2.5
the
hours.
rat.
Yeah. Also, because it was digitally added, it's CGI. It's just like, why did you?
Is it CGI?
Yeah.
That's so annoying. I
it's
just
not a real
assumed they
rat.
just put it on the railing and said,
No.
put a piece of cheese off camera and say, go for it.
One of my other favorite parts of that movie is we didn't get a monologue from Matt Damon to be like, this is why I did all this stuff. He's like, he comes in and he starts to talk and he just he's done.
Yeah. That was, but I was thinking to myself, I was watching it and I'm thinking, man, Leonardo DiCaprio was so young in this movie. And I looked it up. I think it was 28 years old or something.
Yeah.
30. You forget how young he is
You forget how much time has passed.
and how much time has passed. That's
Like,
a quarter
because you
century
told me,
ago.
I'm like, yeah, that movie wasn't out that long ago.
Yeah, 2006. So yeah.
Or,
It's
20 years
because
ago.
Leo keeps dating people that are still in their
Dude,
20s.
he's figured out the time machine. The time machine
That
is
is crazy.
inside
Yeah.
of women.
But I actually feel like he's a lot older than he is, I think, because of that running joke. To me, it's like, seems like he's should be 60.
He also
but
like
he's-
George Clooney aged a little better than he did.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
See, if we're going to talk about age, I think it just depends on what movie they're doing because Matt Damon will go from kind of like, you're like, oh, it's over for
Oh,
him.
so it's a character.
And then Matt Damon came back. He's going to be in some movie and that they showed him, he's got 6-pack abs and like he's all jacked. And you're like, oh, okay. So if you get the right trainer and they juice you up, you're going to be in good shape.
Got to goose him.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So
that's our theory on aging.
We love you, Leo.
Speaking of which, we just did a podcast with Eternal
yeah.
with I want to call him Desmond Tutu, but it's Dr. Desmond Wilson.
Correct.
okay.
And we talked about how to stay, even like younger athletes
Mhm.
starting off in this program, but the whole goal is to increase the window in which you're living a happy, healthy life in the sport.
Okay.
He basically said that there's 9 years of the average person's life that you're just like,
Trash.
yeah.
I
Like-
feel like there's been 40 years, but yeah.
No, like you're going to hit like, he goes, they're trying to shorten that 9 years,
Okay.
but like it's not about having a longer life just for having a longer life. Cause that's what I said. I said, I don't want to live forever.
Yeah.
I want to live healthy and then be gone.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, well, most people have a 9-year window of like rapid decline and badness.
That's when I'm taking up smoking again.
Yeah.
Once I get to that 9-year
100%.
window. Dude.
See, that's the thing. You won't even be able to enjoy it at that point.
Yeah.
You have arthritis. You won't be able to light the.
Oh, geez.
For real?
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be
That sounds
Let's
horrible.
move on
You'll forget
from-
that you
let's
wanted a
move on.
cigarette.
Let's move on from aging and bad
What was I
topics.
doing?
Robbie,
Yeah.
how was Spain?
Spain was beautiful. I went there for my brother's wedding and I was a little hesitant / annoyed that there was a destination wedding in Spain. For what reason, I'm not sure. Other than a loose connection. But honestly, I was glad that it happened. It was
So there's no Spanish blood in you. Your relatives aren't from Spain.
I don't know. Maybe somewhere, I don't think so.
Yeah.
None at all.
So the tie is it's just a place that was sunny.
Yeah. He's been, we have a mutual friend who owns a place there. He's been there. They enjoyed it. Anyways, but it was beautiful. Like the weather was great. It was like, I wasn't familiar with the southern coast of Spain but then people were like, oh, that's an amazing place. It was. Yeah. I don't know what to say, but, there was this I'm not going to go into like the travel details. Everyone has their stories, but I had to share one story about when we were going over there. We were flying on this airline called TAP Portugal, which is like the Spirit airline of international travel, but it's the fastest way to get to Spain. So we're flying on this plane and it's 2 3-seat rows, right? So there's me and my kid at the window, a stranger beside me, and then there's this large man in the next row over who he might have bought all 3 seats because it was like an empty row. He was in the middle. And he was kind of obnoxious in the beginning, being like, oh, look at us, really only white Americans back here or something, and kind of like throwing some weird jokes out. I was like, yeah. I was like, whatever. And then so we're in the middle of the flight, and turbulence hits, and it's not the turbulence where you're like dropping 20 feet. It's just normal like shaking. And this is in the middle of the night. This is a 10 p.m. flight, so it's 3 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. So people were just trying to chill, and it is all Europeans around us. This dude, earmuffs for any kids in the car, but he's like, holy fuck, I'm gonna fuck, this is fucking, holy fuck. He's going crazy.
Yelling?
Like yelling. Like, I'm gonna fucking die. Fucking shit.
Oh, gosh.
Like yelling, holding death grip onto the middle seat in front of him, like shaking it.
So are you sitting next to which of your sons?
I'm on Rye, but he's sleeping. He's
okay,
like,
so he's
out.
missing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got zero sleep on that flight.
I can't imagine why.
And then it'd be like pause in the turbulence, and then same thing, like losing his shit.
None of the flight attendants said anything?
No, because they're all like, I don't know, back in the back.
They're locked down.
15. There's a lot of turbulence.
If you
They're
got
not walking
turbulence,
through.
yeah.
So
Flight attendants, please take your seat.
this goes on for like 20 minutes, and everyone in the plane's like, what is happening right now? So I took one for the team.
And
Oh, no.
You choked him out?
No, I was debating about just being a smart ass and saying something passive aggressive. But I was like, I'm going to try to take the high road, and I'm actually going to try to like solve the situation. So like I actually went over to his row, to seat next to him. I was like, hey man, what's your name? Like trying to like calm him down, like talk to him. He's like, dude, I don't even fucking care about any of these people. I'm going to fucking yell if I want to yell. He's like going through all this. Like, I was like, that's cool, man. I was like, just, like I've been on a ton of flights before. It's going to be fine. He's like, I fly all the time. He's like, this is the last time. Explains how he has like dual French citizenship.
Thank God he wasn't full American.
Oh, he's full. No.
Oh, damn it.
Oh no, he's full American because he was talking shit on every other nationality, and that he was going to France to get his $800 check because they're a socialist country. So every like 16 months or 18 months, he can go and get $800 and then just come back to the U.S.
What did his flight cost him to do that?
That's what I'm saying. It's like an $800 flight.
What an idiot.
So anyways, I was like trying to be cool with him, trying to be nice. And he did actually thank me at one point, but he was telling me how he's a comedian and he has an Instagram channel and all this.
Oh, no.
So I asked him what it was, and I looked it up, and he was like, yeah, my name's Real Fat Boy French, kind of like real Donald Trump, but Real Fat Boy French. And I was like,
boy, he's really digging us a hole here.
yeah. And then he was like, he's like, you don't remember, I was in New York for 9/11. I remember this. I think he's like going off on this. I was like, I do remember.
The part of the slogan is never forget.
Yeah. So anyways, all this happened. I was honestly trying to get him a Xanax or something because I think my sister had some and she has anti-anxiety.
You didn't
meds.
bring your tranquilizer gun with you?
No.
Take down the big French, the real French.
Real Fat Boy French.
Yeah.
But if you go to so I went to his Instagram after we landed, and dude, this guy, I'm like, he's just a piece of shit. Like, he's not like a good guy. He's just like an actual piece of shit. Like a horrible person.
So if you're listening.
And so I was like, I think there's some people where you feel like, I felt bad for him in a way because he was legitimately terrified. But then I'm like, he's just a bad person. And it's like hard to come to terms with some people are just a bad person.
It is. I know that feeling just because, we run community and we do community things. And every once in a while, there's somebody that enters the community and you're just like, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And they pull something, maybe you pull them aside and you talk to them and you're like, hey, it's not really what we're about, or that's not accepted here. And, can you just try to fit in? If you want to be part of the group, try to follow the rules. And you give them chance after chance and they just show you who they are.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Because you want to think that everyone can be redeemed or has like a redemptive side to them.
Have you never dated someone where you're like, I think I can fix them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were bad, like a bad person. It's just,
you can't change people. Right. And sometimes
you can't paint a new stripes on tigers. Is that what it is?
Sounds right.
A tiger can't change its stripes. think that's what it is.
All right,
Or a
maybe
zebra.
spots on a leopard.
Carl, this is what you're
I-
doing.
We did go
look
to
that up.
Africa. Carl. We went to Africa. We should know
We
this.
should know this.
We
yeah.
should know all zoology.
But
Yeah.
so then I looked at his Instagram because I was telling someone the story the other day, and I looked at it, and he was in France, and he's like I'm an American. I want my fucking free refills at McDonald's. I'm going to go in and demand a free.
Wait, do we get
Oh.
free refills in America?
They may have stopped.
I don't know, but he's like, I'm going to go in and demand a free refill in this French McDonald's, and it's like the cringiest, most awful
No.
thing ever. Where he's going in, he's like, I'm from America. We get free refills. Give me a damn refill.
Oh, jeez.
And they don't understand because they're French, and so then people who understand are trying to come up to the counter trying to explain. I was like, dude, this is like, what is this?
Yeah, it's that brain rot. That's that new
It
age
really
brain
is.
rot content.
It
Yeah.
really
Well,
is.
the weird thing is he thinks that's comedy.
Right, but it's
Like you being annoying and eliciting a reaction from people isn't funny.
no,
It's just eliciting a response.
Anyways, so that was like that was the start of the trip. But everything else was smooth sailing from there. It was like great weather, like I said, just really cool atmosphere.
What would happen if you took all the people that are like that and we put them together in a group?
Put them all on a plane.
Like,
I
do you
think
think
that's what reality TV
I
is.
was gonna say that's
Kind of.
Survivor.
But do they eat each other up, or do they join forces, or is it the egos are too
I think
too
they would
strong
destroy
that
each
they
other.
destroy each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we got there, and by the way, I rented a manual car because I was like, hell yeah, I
Nice.
haven't driven a stick in like 10 years. And that was awesome until I found out I was in like the most hilly region. in Spain.
They're like, we got this fool.
The hills are like this. And like, trying not to stall it out. Only stalled it once.
See, that's crazy because we just came from a country that had no rules on the road. Carl, would have you ever tried to even drive in Kenya?
No, number one,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're on the opposite end. And
The
then
other
there's
side.
no yield signs.
I
no
don't even
stop
think they're on
signs.
the opposite sides of the roads. I think they just drove wherever they
wherever.
wanted.
Yeah, there's no yellow line, so you're kind of just, if someone's slow in front of you, you just pass them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you honk. There's like always
Yeah.
honking.
So
'cause-
you're telling me Spain had some sort of
Yeah, it's generally
Rules.
like, there's, I'd say it's pretty much normal. A lot of roundabouts.
how
but
many
yeah.
people fit in the cars there? Because in Kenya, it's like 20.
So I will say I had a 4-door, but with just like a hatchback style in the back. And I was having to shuttle some people around, and I threw like my kids and another cousin in the back. So we did get 8 people in that car,
Oh, no,
Okay.
God.
You would have fit right in.
which
there.
was, yeah.
All right, first check in. It's race week. I don't even care if you're not running Boston or London. You know, it's time to think about all the work that you've done, all the work that you're doing, whether or not, even if you're not, training for a race, maybe it's time to take inventory of how proud of yourself you should be that you're getting out there, you're doing your runs, you're getting in the mileage, you're building fitness. You're part of the game. All right, Meg, the heat is back. It's time for LMNT summertime edition or spring summertime edition. I've been using the winter, but now I'm transitioning back into
Into the straight element packets.
with how I like it.
Yes. So if you're not familiar, LMNT is an electrolyte beverage. They come in very easy to mix little packages, have all the electrolytes you need, plenty of sodium to keep you hydrated. It helps with maintaining steady energy. It improves your cognitive function. You get less headaches, Robbie.
Oh, yeah. I took 2 of those. I took like 2 or 3 of those after the Miami Marathon in the heat.
Whoa,
and
2 or 3? Whoa.
It brought me right back to life.
Okay.
Took my headache straight
The
right away.
cognitive functioning, I'm not sure it's working on me, but the rest is with the magnesium and everything. Regular water is boring after drinking this. I told Meg the other day I was making it, and I was like, I'm kind of addicted.
Yeah, and I love it for before the race as well as Robbie used it afterwards, but it also helps with muscle cramps and just keeping you overall hydrated and ready to go. So if you guys haven't tried it yet, you definitely need to. And if you just want to get a test of it, you can go to drinklmnt.com/thedrop, and then you can get an 8-count free sample pack.
It was good times, but then it was funny because when I came back to the US, like my stick shift like mentality was still with me, where I'm like trying to pump the clutch
You're
and
hitting the
like
clutch, yeah.
put in reverse like that. I'm like, Miss those days. But
The driving manual was fun when you're driving. If you're in any kind of traffic,
no, traffic is
Yeah.
awful.
In the city is when I hated it.
so bad.
Yeah. But anyways, so that was fun. But where we were running was, like I said, it was a kind of this like mountainside village. So it was when we were talking before about how when you go to a resort somewhere and it's like a ski resort and you can't get any flat running, that's what it was like. So it was like, I just went for a short run after we landed and got back, which is like always the best.
Oh,
The worst and the best.
yeah, it's definitely.
Feels awful, but for some reason I actually felt really good, but I got like 250 feet of elevation in 2 miles because you can't go anywhere. You're just uphill.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing that's crazy though is because you're uphill, you can run downhill, but then you gotta
right.
get back.
Right. But yeah, it was really cool. And we got to go out to dinner the one night, me and my wife. So we never go out to eat anymore because we have kids, and it's like always to hire a babysitter. I'm like, you're just paying double what you pay for dinner then.
And then if the dinner lets you down in any way,
Yeah.
you're just like,
So my parents were there and stuff, so they could watch our kids. And we were in Spain, so I was like, dude, I'm going all out. I'm gonna I've never been to a Michelin star restaurant. I'm just gonna do it. So we did it, and that was awesome.
Where'd you go?
There's this restaurant called Blossom in Malaga, which is like Malaga's like a real city.
yeah,
like on the
but when you
coast.
say you blew it out, the currency exchange,
Yeah.
it is shocking to see.
No, it wasn't bad for I'll just tell you, it was with dinner, which was like 16 courses or whatever.
What?
It's like smaller portions,
Yeah.
but it was still a lot. It's like over 3 hours that
Oh,
you're
wow.
there. It was we each got 2 glasses of wine, and it was €400, which is like around about $400, a little
Okay,
less.
so what I was thinking it would be even less expensive.
Yeah, but you also don't have to. We tipped a little bit, 5%.
Only 2 glasses of wine.
For
Yeah,
3 hours?
that was enough. I mean, I feel like that was enough. They gave us a complimentary like half a glass with the one course, but it was awesome. Like I've never, like I said, we haven't gone out to eat in like a year, and I've never done that before, and it was like really cool.
That's awesome.
It was just nice to have like good service too, which is so hard to have anymore. And especially doing it in Spain, it was pretty cool. I recommend it.
All right.
16-course meals.
But if you did that in the US, like went to that restaurant, you probably drop like $800, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
In New York City.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
New
cool.
York City.
And yeah, but overall, I think it was really nice. And then on the way back, we had a 10-hour layover in Lisbon, and I highly recommend you get to go there. That was cool. So we went and checked that out.
And you said you went for a run there, right?
I didn't go for a run in
Oh.
Lisbon, but we walked a lot. I mean, it's very like hilly, like San Francisco kind of in a way. But it's also like Venice, where it has those like tight alleys
Cool.
and cool like shops and restaurants and stuff.
So Megan's half sister has she spent time in Spain? Like
Yeah.
lived in Spain?
Oh, really?
There's Spanish. Like her mom
Her mom's
is
Spanish.
okay.
Yeah.
So
It was so beautiful there. But like I was telling you guys yesterday, it is an interesting place because I was talking to my friend who owns like a business there, and he said to operate a business or build a brand or anything there is just like impossible. There's so much like resistance and having to pay people off, and like he said like if you're trying to get a loan there, they basically just stonewall you forever and ever because and then they assume that you're just gonna not like start a business. Like
what's the thought process between not helping entrepreneurs?
I don't know. I think it's like I can't remember if they're a socialist country or not, or maybe democratic like socialism but it's just a very like laid back kind of vibe, and everything. And this is, by the way, if you live in Spain, this could be completely wrong, but this is just my understanding. is that it's kind of like they're fine with how it is, which is a country that has a lot of tourism. People come there, and it's just, I don't know, good community. I think there's benefits. It has a really tight community feel,
But like there's restaurants,
but there are restaurants. Yeah.
and I would assume that,
Yeah.
but are those just generational? Like they pass down from.
No, I think there's a lot of turnover though. He said that even with restaurants, like it's very hard to find a restaurant that's been in business for like a long time. Because there's a lot of, even in the touristy section. So, I think it's generally just some cultures are like that. Like I was saying, you can't name a brand that's from Spain, like off the top of your head. Like French, Italy, UK, Germany, all those, but I can't name one.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Uh,
But if you want to retire there with American money, probably an awesome place to retire.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, but see, here's the problem. I would totally do that.
Mhm.
But then my kids, like, are they gonna have to get on a transatlantic flight every time they want to see me?
Yeah.
You know?
But then also like when they're adults, are they going to see you a lot anyways? I don't
I
know.
don't know, that's a scary thing.
Yeah, I know that. I don't want to think about that.
Don't make him think about that.
But it was funny because I was thinking, dude, for the price of a flight, which was $600 there, not bad round trip, and like you can rent a whole villa there for like $1,500 for a week.
So
which
are we
is-
going to do a retreat
we
over there?
should. It's the same price you would pay to rent a house in Ocean City, Maryland for in July. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like if you rented a house in Ocean City, you're paying what, $5,000 or something
Yeah.
for a week.
Why don't we do we
I'm
want to
sold.
just, let's just do a Believe in the Run
It'd be cool.
retreat over in Spain.
They do have awesome trails there though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we knew that Orla has a
Oh, yeah.
trail run Spain.
I think he was only like an hour away from where we were or
Yeah.
something.
we just, I don't want to run hills the whole time.
Right. That's true. Yeah, we did a hike. We did a sunrise hike the one morning to the top, very top of the mountain. It was 2,400 feet. And
Did you use your hike function?
I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we were in Kenya, we did that. First time I've ever used it. I was like so happy I had the
Yeah.
map because you're normally I like to complain and
Mhm.
we're climbing up pretty high. And I was like, this time I knew exactly how
Mhm.
many feet of elevation we were getting. But
Yeah.
how far was yours?
2,400 feet and 2 miles
Yeah.
straight up. Like it was steep.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I was like, this is good training for JFK 50 miler.
Well, also if you come out for Western States, that hike we
Oh,
should
yeah.
have had on the watch.
Oh yeah.
I'll be ready this year.
Yeah. Carl's
think-
going to practice up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't really do much running besides that because it was just so busy and everything. But
Well, not only that, it just didn't sound like the ideal place to run.
yeah, it wasn't ideal at all. But I highly recommend it. Get the chance. And it was it was a great wedding. It was a lot of fun.
The Spanish things I can think of export wise would be leather.
Yeah, that's a big one there. Like in the region, like tiles, like you know how they have those like
Spanish
blue,
tiles.
yeah, that was a big thing.
I Googled Spanish brands and the one that I recognized first was Zara.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because they make the fast fashion there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one that we always pronounce wrong that looks like Lowe's.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
pronounced.
No way or
No way.
something.
Yeah.
No way.
Okay.
Louis.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
I
I don't even think we're pronouncing it correct now. By the way, you know the new speed shoe from Kraft? The Kier,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Apparently, we've been saying that one wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Swedish word. It's like schneer.
That's like all the normal shoes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just can I get a translation card with these?
And I get it because it's naming the shoes, they have to go through all this legal stuff to make sure, they're not infringing on anybody else's.
Yeah. So let's just name it after the home of a troll in Norway or something.
Yeah. The troll's beard hair.
Um.
Yeah, it's like, it's not Kype, it's like,
Oh, it's like called. It looks like Kype,
yeah,
and that's not what it is.
no,
Kipe.
no, it's like Schneickel or something.
Like none of the letters sound like what they look like.
I remember I worked at, I was
Just
working
put
at,
hieroglyphics at that point.
I was working at Nordstrom and this woman had a name that was XOPITA, like all these letters.
It's like Elon Musk's aunt.
And I was like, how do you pronounce your name? She goes, Sasha. Like, like I would just see it and know. That's it. I was like, yeah.
Shusha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's nice to be back. I feel like I always get kicked by jet lag a little bit the next few days. Like yesterday I was driving home and I was on Eastern Avenue and I was like, oh, I'm just going to turn right. Dude, I went up a one-way street like that I drive past every day and know it's the one at the annex where it's a 2-lane road.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm like literally there's just cars coming down. I'm like,
What did you do?
I just pulled off in the parking side because,
They're probably like this guy.
but I was like, what just happened? Like, and I think it just,
You're talking at the top of the annex, like where the row homes are, and then
no, not that same street, but
but
I
it's a
took right.
one-way. Yeah.
But I felt like I was just in this and then yesterday I was doing the events for Boston and I set the date to like the 27th or something. Like
that I can understand. But like that's the weird thing. Like I'm trying to think of what I did last week, and I think because of jet lag and everything. Carl, how are you doing?
I mean, I just like got back to normal sleeping wise, so it basically took a week.
What does that mean? You're sleeping till 3 again?
No, I'm waking up at like 6.
Okay,
5:36
regular time,
which is good. Yeah. So, but yeah, waking up at 3:30 every day last week was kind of not great.
yeah,
Because I'd be tired as hell by like 10 a.m.
yeah.
I'm like,
a
oh yeah,
long
the work day
day.
just started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like dozing at my desk. I'm like, I hope Carl wasn't looking at me.
Oh, dude, I
Like,
do the same thing, but my monitor's so big. I'm like, Robbie can't see me.
it's just impossible.
The crazy thing is we're getting ready to go to London. Last time we went, we kind of sleep trained ourselves by going to bed almost like 6 hours early.
That's not possible.
Did that actually work?
Yeah, and
I was not jet lagged at all.
I don't.
Really?
I'm
Yeah.
a little worried this time.
I do feel like it's better going
I
there though,
agree.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's generally
It is, but still, like starting a marathon,
Yeah.
even if it's
true.
6 hours early, that's starting at 3 a.m.
If you can sleep on that plane ride over, I feel like you're golden.
I got this neck pillow that's an inflatable neck pillow. Like this brand Sea to Summit, like outdoor brand, they make it. And so I got it.
Mount to Coast or Sea to Summit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I got it at REI and it's like fits into a little pouch like this big. And then it inflates to whatever level you want because you can let air out, or it's not like just one valve. And that was actually pretty useful.
I haven't been able to use those pillows. Have you been able to use? My neck gets too hot.
Well, so what I kind of did was I wedged out, since I was in the middle seat beside my kid, like I wedged it into the seat so half of it was sticking out, and then just like leaned my head against it.
So it's not actually around the
Yeah,
neck.
so it actually worked a little bit, but even so, I feel like I never can get sleep because like my legs hurt. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's just my legs are always hurting.
Yeah.
Dude, my legs swelled so much on the Africa trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I took my sock down one time and it was like I had that like
Embolism. Is
yeah,
that-
it was like huge.
Ankles.
Anyway, so yeah, that was cool. But it's good to be back, and now we're soon off to Boston.
Yeah. Just in time to leave.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all kind of, except for you, we're all sort of entering a tapering zone.
I've been in one for like
He's
6
been in one.
months. Been great.
Meg, what was your mileage last week?
Last week it was 80, so that was like my last big week. And this week is supposed to be around 60. I'm fighting this whatever, I guess it's a viral infection of some kind.
She thinks
that
she
I've
got
had
it in a
for
porta
like
potty.
10 days. And
What were you doing?
well, no, it's like I got it after DC, and I'm like,
Oh,
Megan wasn't sick. Like no one from our Move Her
Okay.
Mind event got sick. And I was like, well, I raced afterwards, and the only thing I could think of is,
She was
Right.
licking toilet seats.
oh god.
yeah. I mean, you got to boost
Yeah.
that immune system before
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
overseas.
Traditional.
But I'm on like day 10, and it's just like I have a swollen throat, and I've been to the doctor, and there's nothing they can do. So
Oh, really?
they've given me like pain med steroids, but
Oh, I didn't
So-
know that.
I mean, most people, your head's going to fall off. It's hurting. You can't sleep. You're going to finish an 80-mile week.
No.
this is the most frustrating part is like from my neck up, I feel like complete garbage, but from my neck down, I feel completely fine.
Really?
So it's like, I mean, I can still train fine. I just feel like it's hard to swallow.
You should get a head transplant.
I know. Is that a thing?
Dogman did it. I
I've-
think you can.
Always thought if somebody could disconnect my head from my body for marathons, I would do a lot better.
Yeah, you probably would.
I think there's like a drug for that.
What is it?
Like, I don't know.
Is
like,
it Diplo has it?
Yeah. I would check with him first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they did you see that they cloned a dire wolf
I did.
or whatever, brought it back to life?
Yeah, they named him like really scary names too.
Really?
Yeah, like apocalyptic names. Like Cirrus and who are the two-headed dog or whatever from
From
Greek mythology or whatever. And then Khaleesi was the
Bonehead.
third one. So they named the third one after the lady
Oh, really?
from Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah, they could have gone with nicer names and it would have made it less scary, I think, like Spike or
Can you adopt a
Probably.
dire wolf, or they probably
I believe that you can be fed to one. You can't adopt
Dude.
them.
I would put that in my will. Feed me to a dire wolf after I die. Are they scavengers or
I would think they're pack animals that would tear you apart, but they want the chase. So
dude, that end of that 9 years, I'm like, sign me up for the dire wolf.
you'll be able to get
Give me my Marlboro.
What they'll do
give me the
is-
dire wolf.
they'll give you robot legs so that they can chase you.
Just smoke
Yeah.
that thing. Ow.
They're planning on bringing back the dodo bird.
Are they?
Yeah,
they really?
they've got. I think the name of the company is like Colossus or something, and
Yeah,
they're
of course.
planning on. And they have like they're not telling you where the property is, but they've got a large property where they're putting these animals on the
And
property.
it's not called Jurassic Park.
That's it. That's what I was thinking.
Are they really putting them on a property?
Yeah, there's a property. They
That
have.
is
Is it
actually-
in what
Yeah,
country is it in?
That's nobody knows.
Yeah.
Someone knows.
I mean, where would you, if you were gonna have dire wolves? It has to be a cooler environment.
Assume like Alaska or Canada or
I
Saskatchewan.
don't think it's U.S. I'm gonna guess it's another country.
Probably Russia, right? They seem cool.
Nah,
Close.
they're
100%.
they're doing like if Russia brings back something, it's gonna be like a combo, like a bear mixed with an ox or
What
something.
about North Korea? I think that would be boost their tourism economy if they did a.
Do they want tourists?
Oh, probably not.
I don't think they're into tourists there.
I
I could be wrong.
but yeah, I think that woolly mammoth should definitely be brought back. Like that's
Oh,
just
that's on
I,
their
I
list
thought
too.
it's already back.
what?
No, they I think they've I don't know if they cloned it or not, but
I saw something
that's
about
on
a
their
woolly
list
mammoth.
too. It's the dodo bird, woolly mammoth, dire wolf.
Okay, saber-tooth tiger.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Yeah, you gotta throw in like if you're. It sounds like you're going for the
Yeah.
movie Ice Age.
Yeah, because they're not prehistoric animals. They're like just ice age animals.
You know,
yeah.
there'll be no scrat though because that's completely fictitious.
This is crazy.
yeah.
So yeah, the woolly mammoth's not back yet, but it's in the works by the company called Colossal Biosciences.
Colossal.
It's in the works.
They plan to use CRISPR gene editing on Asian elephants to give them woolly mammoth traits like a thick coat of hair and the ability to
Oh no!
thrive
See,
in
this
cold
isn't a good
climates.
idea. Just using CRISPR to develop animals. That's bad.
Well,
What's CRISPR?
It's
so
gene editing, so you can just
So
like
th-
if you want blue eyes, you can have blue
Oh.
eyes.
second check-in. All right, it's not crazy. Some people actually listen to the podcast while they're running. We've been told that people have listened to the podcast while they're actually running the marathon. So if you're out there and you're running the marathon, this one is from me to you. Go kick some ass.
All right, this episode is sponsored by SWIFTWICK.
We're Swifties here.
Do you know what? You know what's terrible? I'm gonna have to hit them back up because I wore my SWIFTWICKs when I was in Kenya.
I know, I saw they got all the mud on them.
They're like red. You know what we also
It's
forgot
kind of
to
a
do?
souvenir, though.
Yeah, but I'll leave the shoes with all the red. I want my socks to be white.
Okay.
And then we forgot to get a jar of clay or something.
Yeah. But you guys have probably seen at the time that this podcast comes out, but they just did a really cool collab with Cole Townsend of Running Supply. There's 40 pieces in the collection. It's all like vintage Boston gear.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, so they had
Did you want to get a hold of that Bill Rogers tracksuit?
The whole thing was sick. Yeah, I was like, I don't even know how you give this up.
They had a drop on Monday the 14th, Wednesday the 16th, and then today, Friday the 18th. And if you miss them, you can get any of them on swiftwick.com. But if you miss them, they're also going to be at Boston Marathon weekend. They're going to be with us at the New Balance Relay on Saturday, April 19th. And
We're
then-
all going to be wearing SWIFTWICK socks.
Yeah, our team's getting kitted out with them.
I'm wearing them right now.
Dude, you are.
Boom.
Yeah. So, and if you just want to check them out in general, go to swiftwick.com and you can get 15% off your first purchase with code BELIEVE15.
I do think it's a good idea.
Yeah, crazy. This Jurassic Park is happening.
For sure.
Yeah, it's basically what they said in Jurassic Park with the little cartoon. They're like, we take a little DNA from this guy and we add this. But what it is it's almost like if you have the manual for creating something, you can create it with the DNA and boom.
Dude, soon we're gonna just be seeing people walking around with tusks. coming out of their
2028
face.
is when this is all happening.
Yeah, but here's the
Nice.
thing. I don't even think we need this. And I'll tell you why. I think we're moving so quick into the AI stuff
Mhm.
I
that
hate
the
the AI
line
stuff.
between reality and
Yeah.
fiction, like I'm reaching a saturation point where when I see something that's AI,
Yeah.
I'm immediately like,
Get out.
yeah, like I don't like
I
that.
think that the creative side will die off. I think the other side will carry on. The
yeah.
medical / whatever.
Oh, no,
like that's
there's-
gonna be great.
I think there's definitely, here's the thing that I feel sad for. Like if you're an artist that was like realistic illustration and you
Mhm.
crafted your, you
Right.
know, your skills for years, and then some dolt can get on his computer and be like, make me a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, boom, it looks as good as anything that you can draw. And you're like,
Yeah.
like that would suck. But like,
But but eventually, like, it's pulling from a history of creativity.
that's the same thing that creativity does though.
But it can't keep building on itself because it's just
I think it can
Mm.
because it's the same way like you go to art school to learn art history so that you can take the things that came before you to kind of incorporate that as an inspiration into your work and you're trying to elevate it to the next thing. And by mixing these things together, it almost is evolving in the same way
Mm.
and maybe even faster than an artist. But like if I see one more blister pack of an action figure doll of somebody, I'm going
gosh,
to be
dude.
like the first one, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. That's cool.
Uh,
Now it's like, I mean, Abbott Global did one. It's like
really.
diabetic in a doll. They did that. It was the crazy thing. They did a diabetic person.
doll.
Yeah, they did. It was a three
Why?
slider. It was
Why?
because that's one of the things they work on to cure is or have medication for
Okay.
is diabetes.
Lowest selling action figure of all time.
That they did like another one that was like really weird, and then they did Runner. Like so you
Cool.
could swipe. Yeah, I'm just like, okay. Somebody's social media team got a hold of
Yeah.
the blister pack prompts.
What was I gonna say about that? I forget. Oh, I was thinking about the animal stuff and the pets, and I was at this I was at a birthday party this past weekend, like because it's
Did a wedding, a birthday
it
party.
was one of my best friends. So lives in Harrisburg, so it was an I think you should leave themed birthday party, which is pretty excellent.
Wait, what was the gift that was on the show? He's like, "Do you like it?"
The went with the toilet paper episode with
Where he
the
like,
Asian guy.
where he gives him the gift.
Yeah,
He's like, "If you aren't going to use it,
yeah. I forget what the actual gift was. Was it like a calendar or something? I don't know. But Jarrett's dying right now because he always gets mad when we talk about stuff like this, and he knows the answer. But
we should just do stuff that we know the answer to, just that
to
we
make
know
it
that
bad.
he like Severance. What's the color of the guy's card in Severance? Is it purple?
Yeah. But anyways, they had like a pet squirrel, which is that maybe I shouldn't divulge that information.
Yeah,
but
they shoot those.
yeah, but it was they were gonna let it go, but I was trying to buy it off them, but it's and they weren't
What
willing
does
to
a
sell
squirrel
it to
go
me.
for these
Yeah,
days?
what were you offering?
I would probably pay $50 for it. Dude,
Couldn't-
it was a baby squirrel, so it would
Oh.
had been following them around when they're doing yard work and just like wouldn't leave.
Oh,
And
Well, it
then
probably have dead parents.
yeah, probably. And then it went under the fence to the neighbor's yard, and the dog.
Are you wearing a swatch?
No, it's actually this like found this. There's like a '90s dead stock watch in this like random shop in Spain, and it's kind of like a junk watch. But I was like, it had literally been sitting there for like 40 years, and I was like, or 30 years, and I was like, how much for that thing? And they sold it to me for pretty cheap. But it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
it's like some Spanish brand.
Sorry, baby squirrel.
But anyways, so the squirrel.
It's a Spanish brand.
Yeah, it is.
I know, but you just said there's no Spanish brands and you're wearing
Oh.
one.
Yeah, but it's I don't think they're in business anymore.
Okay.
He doesn't even know the name.
Yeah, it's like the worst name too. And then so the squirrel went under the fence, and the dog like grabbed it by the tail and like whipped it around
Mm.
and threw it. So they like saved it, and they had it in their house in a little cage, but you could hold it and it's like all tucks into your armpit and like tries to falls asleep.
Does it have a name?
Peanut, not very creative.
I still like it though.
Yeah.
Peanut's cute.
So they're keeping it?
They said they're gonna keep it for a little bit and then try to like put it back outside.
Dude,
where it
that's
was
the
from.
dumbest thing I ever heard. Imagine that we did that with people. You're like, I found this homeless guy on the street. I nurtured him back to
That's
health.
what I'm saying.
I gave him this great house to live in, hot water, hot showers, food anytime he wants. But I'm going to release him back
out,
into
right.
the wild.
I was like, and plus, you don't get to choose your family. Your family chooses you.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And so this squirrel chose them in a way, and you can't just let that go.
And think
Okay.
about he's going to go. The other squirrels aren't going to be like, hey, come hang out with us.
Yeah.
You're cool.
They're going to be like, you lived with humans. You're not allowed
Sell
back
out.
in the clan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I for sure would have kept it, and I would have bought it off them if they would have let me take it home.
I wonder if having a squirrel in your house would be a natural like rodent and insect repellent, because they would be like, there would be.
They just eat nuts.
No, but the smell
You're
of
saying another animal, would that repel other animals?
like if they thought a wild animal was in there.
Maybe. I know I think it's illegal to have them, but I think you just got to keep it under the
Did
radar.
I ever tell you about the time I tried to make my own like squirrel tail?
How do you make your own squirrel tail?
So I'm coming home from school
Yeah.
and we see roadkill. It's a squirrel, but it had a real big fluffy tail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll take it home and try to get the tail off.
Okay, I think I've been here before, but yeah, I know what is going through your head. Yeah.
Okay. So I pick up the
Yeah.
thing by its tail, go home. And at this time, I'm like, probably 11 or 12.
Yeah, we got a real Norman Bates on our hands here.
So I'm thinking, how do you sterilize something?
okay,
Boiling water sterilizes
yeah,
stuff.
that would make sense to me.
It also smelled bad.
Did you like cut the tail off with scissors though?
No, I figured once I got it sterilized, I could then get the tail off.
The body was still attached.
Parts of it, it was like run over.
Oh, I see. So it was like the hindquarters. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, gotcha.
So I throw it in a pot
Mm-hmm.
and it's starting to smell with the boiling.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's one luxury at the time was like Chanel No. 5.
Uh-huh.
And I was like pouring it into the pot
No way.
to
dude.
get it.
That makes sense.
What happens though is when you boil an animal, its hair falls off.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the next part. Yeah.
So the top of all of a sudden I realized I had a potpourri of dead squirrel and Chanel No. 5
Dude, you
with
could-
a layer of hair on the top of this pot.
honestly, you could probably sell that to somebody.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think my mom almost cried when she came home.
Did she see it?
Well, you could,
Did you pour the whole bottle?
the smell permeated the house. Like it smelled like boiled squirrel and Chanel No. 5, like a whorehouse. Like,
man, I would love to know what a critter Chanel would smell
Oh.
like.
Ugh.
No, thank you.
Anyway,
And so you never got that tail, huh?
well, yeah, at that point,
It's just bones.
yeah, it's just flesh and stuff. At least it was boiled.
And then that was dinner.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
Would you ever eat squirrel? I feel
No.
like I would eat it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was on one of the Survivor shows and you had to survive.
Yeah.
So one time I saved a squirrel also downtown Baltimore. It was during the winter.
Oh.
One had fallen into the fountain in Mount Vernon and it couldn't get out and it was freezing in the
wow.
water.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a towel and I got him out and I tried to warm him up and I took him back to my house and tried to use a hair dryer to kind of like warm him. You could just tell he was like freezing and he's still alive, but like up close, man, they got a scary face. They got those teeth
Yeah.
they're yellow and they're chompers.
Well,
Like they're
it's like a rat in a way.
yeah, if they got a hold of your, like if they bit you, you would be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I tried to bring him back and, I didn't want him inside because I felt like if he came back to like full strength
Yeah.
that he would tear up the house or something. So I had like a little porch and I filled it with blankets and tried to keep him warm out there, but he didn't make it.
He didn't make it?
Nah.
Did you have a funeral for him? You just tossed him?
I think he went to the cathedral of the dumpster.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
And that's
sometimes
where it
that's all
ended.
you can do. Yeah, man. I would definitely, I would be into it though. But yeah, I think that the tail thing is crazy. I feel like I've done that before. Like I think I had a tail lying around just thinking you could just have it, but then you forget that there's still
flesh.
Yeah. It doesn't
Well, how
go-
do they
doesn't
do the
go
ones
well.
that were on the coonskin hats? Like the Davy Crockett's.
I think they just set them out in the shed for like 6 months and then it all goes away.
Or
and
did they
just-
skin it and just wrap it back up?
I don't know. Can you Google that, Carl? How do you make
I'm
a
not-
coonskin hat?
I'm not Googling that.
How to skin what?
How to just not how to skin it. How do you make a coonskin hat?
Like a Daniel Boone hat.
Yeah.
Those were in style when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like you could, if
What
you
was
had
the
one,
in Christmas Story? Didn't the kid have
Yeah.
a coonskin hat?
they were
yeah.
real pop.
Yeah. I had one before, but it wasn't the tail was real, but the rest was fabricated.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tutorials on Google if you Google it. I just don't know which ones are right.
How long do you have to condition the leather?
Oh boy.
Don't worry.
I mean,
We'll
you
figure it
gotta
out.
figure
Yeah, it has
though,
too many details.
We'll put a
like
tutorial on
back
the website.
in the cold days of the old West. That was probably a pretty comfy hat.
Oh yeah. I mean, we should start. Maybe we should bring that back. A little running. See how far we can take. You're wearing Real Tree camo right now.
I
That's
am.
a running jacket.
So yeah, this is that 247 brand. I don't know if I'm even saying it right. Is it 24/7, 247?
That's a good question. 24/7 would make sense.
Yeah,
They're a British brand.
dude, their stuff is pretty sweet.
Dude, they did it. I was looking on their website. They did a collab with Oasis last year for
I didn't know that.
for like the coming back tour. All that stuff sold out.
Did you get gear, or was I the only one who got the gear?
I don't know. I guess
Because
you.
the shirt is like butter.
Is
The
it?
shorts are
Really?
Yeah, like
Nice.
the quality is definitely there, and it just feels nice. And like the cuts are like the modern cuts. Like
Okay.
the shirt's a little bigger.
Yeah.
This jacket's got a little more of that 80s, 90s cut.
Nice.
I
Because
really
they're
like
a
it.
British brand.
Yeah.
And I think they're mostly like fashion, but they're doing running gear.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, that is fashion now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks awesome though.
Yeah,
Looks good.
I like it. And plus, when you're running, you can hide.
It is true. If you're trail running, you are good to go.
Yeah, Ralphie thinks so.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm gonna bring it back to running a little bit
Yeah.
because I finished up. This was my peak week before marathon. Unlike Megan doing 80, I did it like close to 58. It was
Wow.
kind of annoying. It was 57.8. If I'd looked at my watch, I would have ran that extra 0.2.
Okay.
But again, one of the coolest things was we ran in Kenya. I had my map from Moibin Road,
Mhm.
and I was able to get on the WAHOO Kicker Run and load the map in there,
Yeah.
and do my speed work on Moibin
Does it
Road.
show the thing on the screen?
Yeah, you get like a satellite picture and a map,
Oh.
and then the elevation is there, and then the treadmill automatically follows the elevation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was able to, and it was kind of funny because like even Carl looked at it, and it's the exact map that we had from like
Yeah.
when you looked at my map that loaded to Strava, it's the exact map from a week ago.
Yeah, because we did like a warm up that wasn't necessarily on that road. So like it was the exact same shape. It was like a Y
Yeah.
fork shape or whatever. But it was pretty cool to see that.
And what was fun was I was like going back in my head, like, oh, this is when I was running with Co for the warm up. This is when Carl took off and came back. And, it was like, mentally, I was like right back there.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because you think when you're running on the road and you're like feeling like a long kind of uphill, I would have been like, oh, that's definitely like 50 feet of elevation
Mhm.
or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Not.
Oh. All right.
Like in your head when you're running uphill, it just feels like you're constantly going up. But like over the whole thing, I think it was like 87 feet of elevation or something like that for 9.5 miles.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it's interesting to be able to, I could almost remember different hills. And then also like if I went back to Moibin Road, like when you're running uphill, you're like, oh, this is never going to end.
Yeah.
And you don't realize, okay, on the other side of this little upgrade, there's like a downslope.
Mhm.
So now it's like, I was like running on, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to hurt a little bit while I was doing the speed work. But then you do the downslope and you're
Nice.
like, okay, this is cool. But it was a fun way to kind of like make treadmill training
Yeah.
like less
Yeah. I like that. That's cool.
boring.
Shout out the kicker.
Yeah.
And then we ran today with a celebrity.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Jenny Simpson and Jason Simpson.
Yep.
they're traveling across the country
Oh,
doing.
shoot, I think I put his name was David in my Strava.
That's weird.
Uh-oh.
I thought he said David when I first met him. Okay.
No,
Jason.
Jason for Design, if you're following on Instagram. But they're traveling across the country and they're doing all 50 states in 50 weeks. And today was Maryland. And last night, I think they ran with Tribe last night to do a group run. And then we got David Metzler was like, hey, run with Thomas and Robbie. And so they texted and we got to have like, just nice, fun, easy run along the waterfront.
Yeah. No, it was a great run.
It was kind of like do-si-do. Like I ran out with Jenny Simpson and we turned around. We switched partners.
Yeah,
I ran back with
yeah.
Jason and you ran with
I will say I was, no offense to you, but I was a little terrified in the beginning because, and I do this too, but the making the turns on the street with Thomas, I was like, please don't.
He's just going to run in front of traffic.
Yeah. It was kind of like
there was one turn I did where she didn't come with me.
You're used to doing your turns because it's your usual route and you forget to be like, oh, we got turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left. So then you're like kind of like cutting
after
off the whole time.
I did one where she kept going, she's like, oh, and came back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I started doing that. We're going to turn here. We're going to point here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely right.
But once you get down to the water, it's all fine. But
then we took several attempts to do like a timer photo, which they were cool about because it was several tries. And then when I posted it, I realized afterwards that both Robbie and I were wearing shoes that are on embargo.
Yeah.
So
for a couple more days.
I had to take those. Well, no, the one I was wearing comes off in May.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
that's
then
right. I kept thinking you were wearing the Boston. Yeah.
I texted somebody that I knew at the company of the one that I was wearing. And I said, hey, it's not a big deal. It's in this picture. Do you care if I leave it up? And they're like, no, take it down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So it went back up with some drawings over the shoes to hide the shoes, but
it's already on Reddit anyways.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not that colorway.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like the leaks are so egregious at this point that you're just like, I mean, does it matter?
This Puma shoe that we're going to talk about here is one of the ones I feel like they almost got it to the embargo date.
Not when you're sending it to like 100 different
Megan had a
people.
good idea because, they're sending to these people because they're paying them if they...
the Puma, what is it? The
Project 3.
Yeah.
And if they do well at it, they get a bonus.
If they PR by 3 minutes, they get $3,000.
So she was like, well... if anybody posts it, they're automatically disqualified from getting the prize money.
That's what I would have told them. I don't know that that's what they said.
Yeah.
So we did see one person leak them.
Yeah. I bet they did say that because I haven't seen.
That's what I was saying. Cause we know like the rules and like we follow them, but the general public probably get excited about
for
something.
Today.
Yeah. And like post it. And so I'm just shocked that we hadn't seen this everywhere. But now it's on the World Athletics list because of Boston and London. So it's out there.
Right.
And by the time this goes out, it's public knowledge.
Yeah. 5 a.m. this morning, Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the other shoes, like the one shoe that we're launching in Boston, that one, like, I don't know, man.
You can talk about it. It's Friday.
Yeah. The Boston 13 that we're going to be like, not only I feel like we're trying to keep the embargo for the company, but then even the company themselves kind of broke the embargo and sold some pairs in Europe.
Right.
And, people got a hold of them. But then additionally, just some other stuff that just, like, I can't imagine what it'd be like being in marketing in one of these companies.
We got the,
drive me nuts.
We got the list of upcoming Saucony shoes for seeding. And I'm like, it's the Triumph 23, Hurricane 25, and
Speed 5.
And I was like, the embargoes were the same day as the release date. And I'm like, we literally have all these shoes on video from the running event. Like,
well, not only that, but you just sent this press release out to everybody.
Right.
You're telling me nobody's going to be like, bleep, Like
right. I mean,
most of the leaks we see are people working at running shoe stores that take pictures of the.
it's also hilarious to
Right.
embargo the
Yeah.
Hurricane.
Yeah. If anybody wants to see that, you should let them.
Yeah, that's a
You
good.
should
Yeah,
be excited. They're excited.
be paying people to leak it.
Yeah.
But although I think the last one was a really good shoe, so
Well, I think one person that does, or one brand that does it kind of in an interesting way, I think it's Nike right now. Like some shoes we'll get ahead of time. We'll have an embargo and we follow the embargo and we release on the date.
yeah,
And it usually coincides with around the time that it's for sale.
yeah,
And then other times they just release the shoe and then they send out the things. And to me, there's two things. I could see them testing. Do we sell more shoes if we just release the shoe and there's no preconceived notion about the shoe?
right,
Or do we sell more shoe if there's reviews and hype around it and then the shoe comes out?
yeah.
And I'm not sure if I was a company, what do you think is better? Do you think it's just releasing it on the day and getting the reviewers can review it when they want to? Because if the shoe sucks and before the shoe even comes out,
Yeah.
people are like, this is not a good shoe.
Well, I think you should send it ahead of time. If you want to say reviews not published until the date comes out, then maybe.
Yeah.
But I think people should have the chance to run in it. But I don't know. What was I going to say about that? I'm interested. I'm very interested to see how the shoe seeding process will work, and if they'll get more stingy depending on the outlet with the tariffs and everything else coming in.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. I know that it's not, I think they kind of backed off on some of the Vietnam tariffs. Originally they were pretty high, but I think they've been dialed back, but still there's stuff made in China. I mean,
Yeah.
did you see Michael from Atreyu's thing about it?
No.
Because like Mike, I actually haven't watched it, which just because I just saw it when I was in Spain, but I didn't have time. But he did like a whole thing about how the tariffs are obviously affecting his small business at Atreyu because their shoes are made in China. Because a lot of the Vietnam factories, if you're a small business, it's hard to get into because they're all owned by a lot of the bigger brands, from my understanding. So it's going to really affect like some of those smaller businesses.
The thing that I don't know if it's a scare tactic or what's going on with it. The one that makes me uncomfortable is like they're saying that they don't have to follow copyright anymore.
Yeah,
And-
so that's like the whole new thing on TikTok. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that true or is that like, do you think they're really just going to start just knocking off? And they are saying that some of these factories, but I wonder if they're factories that aren't actually manufactured that are saying they are, that are like, we'll sell you that same.
I mean, I will say I've watched some of the walkthroughs of like the Birkin bags and some of the other stuff, and it's like they know what they're talking about, like for sure. I'm pretty sure that like they're talking about where all the leather is sourced from. The leather is sourced from France or Italy or whatever, and then sent over. And so the material costs and everything are somewhat high, but then $1,000 total materials they sell for $15,000 for a bag or something. But the thing is, they're saying on these videos, they're like, we can make the exact same thing, it just won't have the badge. And it's like, yeah, that's what people want. Like,
well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if you're telling me though, I can get the Lululemon tights that you already know and love, and
yeah,
just won't have Lululemon on it,
yeah,
but it's the exact same
right.
tight.
For $20,
They're saying like
$15.
$4. Like, and they're like, we'll figure out a way to get
Dude,
it.
if you're
to you.
selling something for $4, I don't care if it's coming direct from the factory. Someone's getting slave labor somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why we're not going to be able to compete with them on manufacturing.
yeah. But for the bags and stuff, I'm like, a luxury bag. The whole point of having a luxury bag is that it's from a luxury brand.
Yeah.
No one wants to buy a knockoff, even if it is the same material.
But that's the thing. It's where I think the disconnect is I think in the consumer's mind, there's a Lululemon tight, but Lululemon spent tons of time designing and coming up with that tight, and they were pretty much
right.
created that piece of gear came from that company. The same thing with like a designer bag. It was design. And the same thing with the shoes, the running shoes that we have. They're sitting down, whether it's Seth Maxwell or somebody else who's sitting down and designing this shoe, working with a team to design it. You can recreate it kind of like we were talking about AI, but to actually sit down and design it and come up with it. And
that's the
test
whole
it.
thing. Yeah, you can make it. The material costs are the certain amount. And I'm not saying whether it's right or not to charge 15 or 20 grand for a handbag, but
I think it is.
But you like
You don't have to buy it.
right. Yeah, we've talked about this many times. But they aren't taking into account what you just said. The employees, the marketing, the
concept.
The fact that you are, especially with the luxury stuff, like the whole point is that it's not mass produced. Like it is a luxury item. That's why it costs more, because you can't turn a profit on making 100 things. Reason like Norda or Speedland or whatever, like they're making 3,000 shoe runs of a model. Like you can't stay in business paying for the production cost, the last, whatever else, if you're charging $150 for a shoe. Yeah. But then that's the whole point of having it. Then you have something that's a somewhat limited edition in a way.
Well, I think that I'm hoping with all the AI stuff and everything as it goes, craftsmanship and human design and the things that give something personality will remain valued by people. But I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Did we lose you, Meg?
No, I'm here. I'm just.
She's treating, are you going to buy her one of those bags?
No, I'm not a handbag person.
Yeah.
Meg's not a luxury item person.
I know. It's so refreshing.
Like shampoo is whatever's on sale.
I like bougie experiences. I don't need bougie things.
That's how it should be. Like experiences are.
I'm all for a fancy hotel and a first class flight all day long, but I don't need a handbag.
I will say,
no whale blubber perfume.
No.
Carl?
Yeah, you're not like a.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Like when we're home, you guys don't. It's not like you go out to dinner. You don't go out. You don't go out to the the gala.
No, like we are actually.
Whatever that is.
We are. I think that we are.
The gala is
probably one of the simplest. Like I think people would be surprised. Like we don't.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I use Old Spice deodorant.
Yeah.
Megan's using.
yeah.
What's the native shampoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a bar of soap. Like she shaves with a bar of soap.
Nice. Give us your beauty routine. Man.
Yes, I want to know everything.
Carl needs to know.
I mean, that you just summed it up right there.
Where do you get your haircut?
Hair cuttery.
Yeah. How much do you pay for a haircut?
$20.
There you go.
Yeah. Her hair is less than mine.
Less than mine.
That's same with my wife. She only gets her haircut like once every 6 months. It's some random person.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Kimmy gets it.
I'm like.
Meg's like, just cut the ends off.
That's actually one of the reasons why I wouldn't mind going bald quickly, is just so I can get rid of that expense each month or whatever.
See, that's the thing. I think you'd still be getting a haircut because you'd want to keep like the strays and stuff. You don't want to be that like
catching strays.
I mean,
bald guy.
There's a difference between being like having alopecia and not having to worry about hair and being bald. You still have like.
I'm pretty good about cutting my neck in the mirror though.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Okay. Probably do that before we go to Boston.
I'm debating. I'm like, I've got London and Boston. I'm one day back in between. Do I get a touch up? But I'm kind of liking letting it just throw out.
I got mine before Kenya, and I'm like, I don't know if I should go again.
You gotta have
get
race
day haircut. You have to.
Race day haircut. Okay.
You need that aerodynamic on the side.
Non-negotiable.
All right, let me see. If
That's my contention. Why Jordan has never her career didn't blossom as well as it should have is because she had those huge braids. Probably lost like a minute per marathon.
Oh dang.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. But
Final check-in. You know, we get so wrapped up about results, especially when it comes to the marathon. I like to think of it as it's not about the one day. And you might be having a great day, but it's about all the days, the months that you've taken to train, everything that you put together. So if this race doesn't turn out to be the exact one that you dreamed it would be or the expectation, you have to look over all the times that you did, all the work you put in, and you should be proud of yourself no matter what. And a lot of times we're just worried about what other people think about anyway. And just know that nobody cares. Everybody just wants you to be part of the sport and part of the arena and part of the community. So just move those legs, get out here, stay out here, and do it again.
All right, we want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Michael BONSBY HVAC, part of the Zephyr Home Services family based right here in Maryland.
They got us chilling.
Yeah, they came out and helped us with our system recently, and they were absolutely amazing. We've had not the best experiences with HVACs in the past year, and so it was lovely to have them come out and fix everything, and now we have a wonderful home.
We're like living the dream.
Yeah, and if you need a new system or you need it to be checked up or anything like that, they're offering our listeners $50 off any service or install, so just mention Believe in the Run when you book.
I actually do think about that a lot, though. Like if you're
Tommy runs. He's got some heavy dreads.
Yeah, even just anyone with long hair, I'm thinking that there is a certain amount of resistance and / weight. So I always wonder like how much that, if you did a scientific study, how much it would matter.
But maybe it actually helps if you lean forward and let your head lead the way.
Maybe it does. But I would love to know how much that would make a difference.
Yeah, you cut Tommy's hair and he's a 10-minute miler, but he's always trying to keep that head up.
Could be a Samson superpower.
That's what he's doing. He's leaning forward and those legs are turning.
Yeah.
I don't think he can. I think I sent him one of our hats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can wear hats.
Probably not. Yeah. I do. I've always wanted someone to do like a legitimate study on that, though, especially in
what would you call it? The hair
100-meter race or whatever.
Hair study.
You
got to come up with a good name for it.
Yeah. A locks of love.
I think there's probably better studies to do before that one.
Thomas, you should do a locks of love challenge. You should grow your hair out so long that you donate to locks of love.
What are you doing?
I don't think anybody wants this hair though. It's not.
I would buy it.
I will tell you this: my son, who has beautiful hair, my youngest. Well, both of them have nice hair, but the youngest one has really nice hair. Like I wish I had this hair.
Yeah.
And
he
got a buzz cut this weekend and wanted a buzz cut.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Did he use Pert Plus for his shampoo?
Herbal
essence?
I don't. He might just rub his hair in dirt.
Oh yeah.
He's got the same stuff you use.
So
he does.
He does Dirt Plus.
Dirt Plus. Well, he's not. He's just learning the ways of hygiene.
Oh, yeah. Does he wear deodorant? Hopefully.
He's like 14. They're at that stage where I'm telling him, hey, one pump if you're going to use cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll come down, like both of them we'll be going to driving him to school, and I'll be like, wow, my eyes are watering.
You have a subscription to Axe body spray, 2 bottles a week.
Hey, you know what? We got my bags got lost in Africa. They got me like a little tote of like deodorants and stuff, and one of them's the Axe spray.
Really?
I have to say that stuff worked pretty good.
I didn't use that one. I had it.
Oh, I liked it. Like, because I didn't have deodorant. You packed.
I had my own stuff. Yeah. So
Axe, if you're listening, we're open for sponsors.
I will tell you, I'm almost like, do I need Axe? Because I'll use like my regular stick deodorant. I don't use antiperspirant because I've always hated antiperspirant.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be a thing.
But I use like just like the Old Spice stick, whatever. And the Axe stuff, I felt like it lasted longer. Like I just sprayed in the pits there, and I felt like it lasted pretty longer. Well.
Maybe they've come a long way since the early 2000s.
I mean, I did smell like I was going to a Russian rave later, but
I was gonna say, yeah.
Or
it was too much. I didn't like it.
You had your sea
Well, the time when I put it on for you, I tried the whole.
Yeah, and then like the whole room smelled like it, and I was like, I gotta go.
Why would you do that?
I seen a commercial where he does that, and I was like, maybe that'll get Megan.
Have you seen like they're making deodorant like it's no longer for your arms? It's like promoted as like all over body deodorant. Yeah. I'm like, who's putting this all over their body?
Well, also, I'm like,
can you wash?
If you're having, and they especially they do it for. I'm like, if it's at a point where you need to hit that with some deodorant, maybe got other problems.
Yeah. Imagine someone's smelling the inside of your elbow and they're like, why does it smell like deodorant? I put it all over my body.
Yeah. Like they're promoting it for like ass crack, genitals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like behind the knees. And like, I'm like, okay, if you have an armpit in your knee, maybe you got a problem. I don't know.
Oh man. Did the Axe body spray come with like a seashell necklace and like a
No,
white shirt that opens halfway?
it came with a tank top that's cropped and it's a pair of like Oakleys.
Sounds like Carl's uniform for life.
Yeah.
I still have the bag.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing that out. It's a travel bag. Plus,
Yeah,
it's
well.
great. You can stuff it with all the stuff like that you throw underneath your counter in your bathroom
Mhm.
that you leave there for like 5 years.
Yeah, and you never open it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing about moving is you open up a bag and you're like, why have I held on to this for 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know. You just
Yeah.
never know.
I might need that last little bit of Axe spray someday. And this
Oh.
disposable razor, I might use it.
You never
And
know.
this computer charger for my compact Presario.
Dude, how hard is it to throw out like charging cords?
No, it's everyone has the box of charging cords at their house.
Yeah, because you're like, maybe I'll find a device. Like I feel bad because I have an old iPod that I don't know where it is now. I
Right.
think one of the boys stole it, but I don't have that. Remember that long?
Yeah, I have
Charge-
I have some at my house
Okay.
in that
You're the guy?
box. Yeah.
All right.
But and then if you throw them out the next day, you need it. You'll need one for some reason.
Mhm.
So, but you just got to hold on to it.
The weird thing is on that iPod, I had every CD I ever bought was pretty much on that iPod. I burned them doing
Yeah.
that thing and let them up. And for some reason, Apple doesn't want me to be able to retrieve those back off of the
Right.
iPod.
Yeah. They're weird
It's
like
like,
that.
nah, you can't have them back. I'm like, they're mine. No,
I think you can get something to like
rip it.
some Winamp file or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we should talk about these Puma shoes?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Winamp. I was getting ready to
I'll
dig
talk
in.
Winamp
You're-
all day
yeah,
with you, bro.
yeah.
LimeWire?
Yeah. Before we talk about the Puma shoes, though, let's just run through our Boston schedule really fast. So
Oh.
Friday, which is when this podcast came out, tonight we will be with the Adidas team talking about the Boston 13.
Yep.
On
With
Saturday,
special treats for our guests.
a few of us will be out running the 5K and enjoying that. And then
Wait, Carl, did you sign up for it?
I did not.
Okay, so it would be Robbie, Jarrett, myself. Are you doing it, Meg?
No.
Who else isn't in from our team?
Just you guys.
I think it's just us.
All right, well, that's enough.
And then that evening, we will be at the track at New Balance doing a relay race,
I'm
which
wearing
you
this
should
shirt
all
right now.
come to because we are going to be handing out these shirts that Thomas is wearing to the first
I
couple
didn't know we were
hundred
handing
people.
them out. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh, yeah. We've got, I think there's,
couple hundred.
yeah.
Nice.
And this, I purposely chose a shirt that's very nice quality.
It is nice.
It's not you're not getting like a trash white t-shirt. This is a heavy, I forget what ounce it is, cotton tee.
Yeah, and so
Very
the event at the track will obviously be us running around in circles for a long time because we're running 26.2 miles.
But don't think we're trying to beat Sidious or anybody else.
No, we are.
But we will fail miserably.
It's also a huge party. So there'll be a DJ, food, drinks. It'll be a really good time. So come to that. You can just show up. And then Sunday, we will be doing our annual shakeout run with Asics at 8 a.m. from their brand house.
We call it the Blockbuster.
Yeah. We do have some of those corduroy hats to hand out.
How many make?
500.
Yep.
Yes.
So
I'm wearing it right now for the video.
So don't be
people.
shy. You know, if you want to do other shakeout runs, that's great. You'll miss out on the best shakeout run and
Fact.
probably the best hat that will be available at Boston.
Yeah.
Period.
And then Megan Featherston and I will be hosting our second Move Her Mind stop with Emily Saul, who will be hosting a mindfulness meditation pre-Boston Marathon event at noon. That's already full, but
Oh, wow.
can't wait to see you all there.
And if you, since it's already full, if you don't have it, you should definitely check out on Spotify or on YouTube. We loaded up Emily Saul's meditations for pre-amp and the day of marathon meditation. And I'm telling you, I used it before Berlin to just lull myself to sleep and think positive thoughts about the next day. It is a really good way to like wind down, and I highly recommend it.
Cool.
And then finally on Monday, we will be at the finish line with Adidas cheering everyone on. So look for us on the sidelines. Kira D'Amato, we brought something very special for her at the finish line. She'll probably beat most of you, but
You think?
I think
You think she could beat Aubrey?
probably.
Or maybe could run back and
Oh.
start
Carl.
with him over again?
Carl, here's your challenge. Beat
Oh,
Kira
boy.
D'Amato.
Oh no.
Dude, Kira's going to start in the first thing. She could probably run to the finish, run back, and run back with you guys.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
Not that she'd want to do that. That'd be a long day.
All right, but yeah, now let's chat about this shoe that we've actually had since February, but we haven't been able to talk about.
Puma Fast-R 3.
Yeah, it's technically called the Fast-R Nitro Elite 3,
Yeah.
but we'll just call
I
it
don't
the
have time for
Fast-R
that.
3.
I don't have
Is that
time
yours,
for that
Meg, or is that
novel.
Robbie's?
That's mine.
I'll touch it.
Yeah. As if you wouldn't want to.
Did you wear this today?
So, no, I did not.
When was the last time you wore it?
Probably a couple weeks ago. I've done several workouts in it, but so Puma invited us up to Boston to their headquarters to do some testing in the lab for this shoe specifically. And for the first time ever since I've been reviewing shoes, they asked us to bring our number one competitor shoe, so of any brand, which was really cool. So I tested this shoe against the Alpha Fly 3. Robbie, you did.
I wouldn't say it was my number one competitor shoe, but it was a fresh
Okay.
pair of the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB,
Okay.
which is their most recent race day shoe.
And T, you did the Pro 4.
I did,
From
but
Adidas.
my test didn't count. I had a panic attack and hit threshold heart rate going 9-minute miles on the treadmill.
Trying to get me to take his place.
I was like, Carl, step in. What had happened? You got to tell people we had a hose in our mouth and our noses were clipped shut.
Yeah, so part of the
It's-
testing is that you have to put on a mask so that they can obviously take the.
Meanwhile, Jenny Simpson's telling me today when she does testing like that, she's like, "Can I do a workout while we do
It's-
this so I can get it?" I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah. It's not comfortable.
No, it definitely takes getting used to. But so we did this testing and it came back pretty positive. Mine was specifically 2.5% better performance in the Puma Fast-R than the Alpha Fly. And I think yours was something similar.
Yeah.
And so they basically showed us all the stats on and the data that they've been collecting. And across the board, everyone has been performing better in the shoe. Mind you, this is in a lab setting.
it's a lab setting. It's a shorter. It's not a marathon distance,
Yeah.
obviously."
So we did what was it? 5 minutes.
Yes,
5 minutes on in each
3 times.
in each shoe.
in each shoe. Yeah.
So
So 3 by 5 minutes of the Fast-R 3 and then the competitor shoe
Right.
on and off, back and forth to sort of compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the findings. And to be fair, the shoe felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked because I think probably the number one thing from the previous version of the shoe is the weight reduction.
see, here's what I think about the previous shoe. I think that the concept was good. The materials weren't there yet.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit heavier. Like I liked the sensation of running in the 2, but it wasn't something that I would have felt like this is your race day shoe.
It
This
felt like
one-
a eccentric 5K, 10K shoe.
Yeah. This one changed my mind about foams too, because it's not a PIBA foam
No, it's an aliphatic TPU.
and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. Sorry. So I was just looking up the information on the shoe that we may have forgotten in the meantime.
Also, interesting thing, it has that extra lip where the plate comes out a little bit further so that
Yeah.
it's easier to activate the,
The toe off.
yeah.
So they said that, so according to their own independent studies done at the University of Massachusetts, that provides 3.15% improved running economy. Although I think they said that's compared against the Fast-R 2.
Correct. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's much lighter.
Right. And what was the weight on this, Meg?
Mine for women 7.5 was 5.2 ounces.
Yeah, so it's extremely light. I
Yeah.
think it might be. Is that the lightest shoe besides the
Besides the Vaporfly.
besides the Vaporfly? Is it this? The Vaporfly is lighter than this
Vaporfly's under 5 ounces.
for
That's-
you?
For mine.
Really?
Yeah. We did the review yesterday.
the Kip Run,
Katie.
So the 3 lightest I think are the Evo SL or
Evo
not
1.
Evo
Evo.
Pro.
Evo Pro.
Well, there's that 361 Flame or whatever too. That,
Yeah, I don't know about that one though.
We haven't run in it.
This one's pretty light, but the Kip Run KD 900X Lab is like under 7 ounces for me.
Yeah.
And the new Vaporfly also is pretty amazingly light. So now it's almost like a new category of race day shoes where you're hitting this light, super light
Mhm.
feel. Like I feel bad for, like if you have a 8.5 ounce race day shoe, it better be freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You're getting this super cushion, these technology in this shoe, especially for a shoe that weighs next to nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say also a lot of the weight came from the plate. So it used to be a lot thicker and really rigid in the previous version. And this one now is much thinner. You can bend the shoe. And so that definitely
The heel is
changed
the
it.
same foam too, versus the other one had kind of like, I think just a regular, like, I don't even know if it was EVA or whatever in the heel, the old one.
Yeah. And so they kept the 40 millimeters in the heel, 32 in the forefoot, 8 millimeter drop. They're saying it'll last about 200 miles. It is going to be $300.
It's
Right.
weird with the drop because this one feels like almost like a negative drop. Like the heel's so squishy that, when you're not running,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel.
I mean, I loved this shoe way more than I thought I was going to. You'll have a full review up on the website that you can read, but the only real issue I had was, and I think it's like my foot problem with my bunions, is I feel like the lip in the front of the shoe after like 10 to 12 miles, I could feel it.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, hurting my big toe.
I have a question because we were kind of touching on this morning. I was talking to Robbie about the shoe. While it has plenty of cushioning and everything, I was like, would this be a marathon shoe for me, or would this be a shorter distance, like a half marathon shoe?
That was my conclusion based off of just the issues with my big toe, that I think I'd feel more confident. But having done the things in the lab and them showing us, hey, your 245 marathon will go down to a 241 is kind of enticing.
I mean, it feels super bouncy.
Yeah,
Wait, I thought
Big-
you already had a 241 marathon.
245.
Okay.
The aggressive like scoop in the plate is and the toe off. It's like pretty responsive or whatever to the stride. It's snappy. It's a fast shoe for sure.
You also wore it today in like more
Yeah.
casual pace just to get some more miles in it, just
Yeah.
to refresh your memory. How did it handle at a slower pace?
It's fine. Like it's okay, but it's pretty.
You could tell it was
The
built.
heel's pretty unstable through the midfoot too.
So it's built to go fast.
Now, I will say, yeah, definitely. Puma grip. Also, it rained last night, so that was really nice on the wet surfaces. Best grip in the game. So you are getting that, which is really a full coverage on the front, couple pads in the back here. So you're getting that. And do you know how many miles you have on yours, Meg?
Probably 40.
Okay, yeah. There's really no.
I
no
thought her
wear on it.
rubber looked pretty smooth.
It does, but I'm like, is that just how it looks in the beginning, though?
Yeah.
But there's no like even the exposed.
And
foam.
Megan can be tough on. She's harder on shoes than I am, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty good.
But how do you feel? Like, does this compare to what's out there right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's on the same playing field as all the top shoes.
That's what I was going to say. This is the first time I think Puma is now
Yeah.
elevated to, like, I would be like, okay, we have a race day shoe.
And I never thought it was going to be the Fast-R. I thought it was going to be the Elite that was going to be
Deviate Elite.
Yeah.
Deviate Elite. But
It in some ways it reminds me of the CLO X1, but
Uh-huh.
a little bit lighter, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe not as crazy as a bounce, but it's bouncy. There's some similarities.
Now,
for
that's
sure.
the difference between this and the CLO X1. I think the CLO X1 is more like kind of for the every athlete, where this one I think is more geared
Yeah.
towards like high performance.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. But it's legit for sure. $300 though. I think the last one was
Dude, if I could tell you to take 2-3 minutes off your marathon.
Yeah.
well, that's their thing is like they're saying for the 3-hour marathoner, that's 4.5 minutes.
And that's a sub 3.
Yeah.
hour marathon.
So I'm excited to see because they've seeded all of these people participating in the Project 3
Yeah.
in Boston and London. So I'm excited to see how everyone does.
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking to them. They're like, they're doing that Project 3, and they're like, hopefully the shoe's like not too good because then they're paying out.
Hey, I'd love to have that problem.
yeah.
That's great marketing.
Yeah.
Not that hopefully it's not that good, but they're just like, oh yeah, didn't really like once the numbers came back, they're like, didn't consider that we might be paying out a ton of money
Yeah.
if people are taking that much time off their
That's
PRs.
funny. Good problems.
Yeah. So Puma's
You'll be able to
back
see
in
it.
the mix.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it at Boston and London. People
Mhm.
are going to be trying to throw down to get that money. Speaking of Boston, if you're traveling to Boston right now, maybe you're on a plane, you decide to listen to a podcast. Maybe you're driving and you decide to listen to a podcast. Man, we're so excited to see you. And even if you don't make it to one of our events, we'll be cheering for you at the sidelines. This is this is the weekend to come. Like, even if you aren't running, go experience Boston sometime. It's I don't know how else to describe it. You're going to see everybody that you've ever seen, between athletes, people that you know from online communities, like every runner is there, every brand is there, everybody's just throwing out their best A game,
Yeah.
and you get it all on one street, on Newberry Street, and it's an experience.
Yeah. If you see us out and about, say hello. Buy me a beer.
Yeah, Robbie's not running.
Mhm.
Yeah. The first Boston weekend where I'm not running, aside from the relay and the 5K.
Same.
I'm excited to actually have fun. Dude, there's nothing worse when like the 2 days before you're actually running the race.
Don't say this in front of
Okay.
Carl.
Oh,
you
yeah,
look-
this
and
is
you look
wonderful.
You look at your watch and you're like, I did 30,000 steps today. I cannot be good. And in fact, it isn't good. But the weather, and not to jinx anyone, because I don't believe in jinxes, but the weather's looking pretty nice, right?
I believe in jinxes.
Yeah, I think 40s to 60s.
Dude, right now it says, low of 40, high of 62.
Perfect.
Keep it that way.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you do
Yeah.
have to think some people are starting like Carl around 11. So
11:15.
it
Yeah.
can start to warm
That's
up, but
true,
you
so-
should still probably be good at that time. You should still probably be in
it
the
would
50s.
be, it says 52 at that
That's
time.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's like
Gotta take that.
Yeah.
that's like New York, Berlin.
What
basically.
was it? What was it when we started last year?
It
like
was,
80.
no, it was like,
Felt like it.
it was high 50s, maybe closer to
No,
60.
yeah, it's definitely over because we were sweating. Remember, we were putting sunscreen on and panicking.
You guys started at the same time, right? 11:15.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 60.
It had to be in the 60s.
But the high
already.
was 70, I think, right?
Yeah. We by the end of the run, we were in 70s.
Yeah. It was. I was sweating. Me and Justin Hall were in the finish line area, and we were just sweating the whole time.
Yeah.
And we were like, "These guys didn't even start yet."
Yeah. It was warm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Happy hunting. Go get that PR.
mhm.
And if you don't get a PR, just enjoy the crowds and the ambiance
The
and
atmosphere.
the mysticalness of Boston Marathon.
It's the Super Bowl of running.
Hi, Ma.
Hi, Robin.
Get a good stretch, got my laces tied. My trusty podcast by my side. If you wanna tuck run, it's the place to be. Yeah, it's the drop. DROP.